Well, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I don't hear you at all right now. There
How
you
long was
are.
that?
Okay.
How long was that intro?
No voice. Oh, there you go.
Well, welcome tonight, man.
I'm
We're gonna have some
laughing
fun.
because I'm watching your face. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm watching. I'm like, I don't know when this is gonna stop. Long one. Well, anyway,
I think I'm
welcome.
getting a delay on you there, Walt.
Are you
Walt,
really?
I'm getting a delay on.
I
Yeah,
wonder why.
you're not in real time. Do me a favor. I don't know, but that's fine. It's no biggie. Just do me a favor. Come back in.
Go out and come back
Drop
in.
out and come back in.
All right. All right. Bye.
Yeah, please. There you go. Hey, folks. While we're waiting for Walt to come back, welcome. This is a really funny thing tonight. I tell you the truth, I've never actually thought about it until recently, about all the things that took place long time ago when we were kids growing up, with all the toys and all the ads in the back of magazines and the things that they sold us in the 60s and 70s, from Nerf footballs to Frisbees. And I can tell you right now, I have, when I think about it, I have five memories. I'm sitting here just a moment ago as Walt was coming in, and you guys can't see it, but when we're playing all those old previews of toys and things and shows from the 70s and 60s, I could see Walt's face down here in the broadcast studio, and he's beaming and smiling with laughter. It was a fun time. It was a very unique time, almost like now with a pandemic. It's that unique of a time. So once we get him back in here, we're going to actually come back on. Here he comes. We're going to come back in and show you a couple things that are interesting from back in those days. Walt, can we hear you now?
I can. I'm hoping you can. Can you now?
Yes, but your voice is totally different for some reason.
Is it a delay?
Oh, now you're in real time.
All right, real time.
Oh, there you go. Now you're in real time. We're good.
Did you take care of explaining what we're doing?
Briefly, you could pick it up if you like. I'll bring you up.
No,
and you tell
we're just going to go over it. We were messing around on this thing a couple weeks ago. We started talking about some old toys. People were all into it and sending emails to you, sending text messages to me, and we decided we'd make a show just like every other idiot out there.
That's right. We're the newest idiots on the block.
We're the two new idiots.
Yeah, two new idiots. Block. I was just telling them that you weren't there, but I was just telling them that I remember all these things, and I was watching you down in the broadcast studio, and I'm watching your face, and you're beaming with smiles as you're looking at, you knocked my block off, and you know, and you picked out the funny bone, and I don't know what it is about. What is it about this business of reminiscing about your past that makes you so happy? I mean, what is it? I don't even know what it touches a special place in people. And by the way, this is not for everybody. We're a very limited group here.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. There are people that were born in the 50s and 40s, and people that were millennials born in the 90s and won't even remember a joy buzzer. But what do you think what do you think that little special spot in our heart is all about? What do you think?
I think it brings you back to a childhood where nobody had to worry about anything. You have to worry about, you didn't have bills then, you didn't have anything. All you had to worry about was $1.50 coming up with 6 quarters, putting it in an envelope, and buying something from the back of a magazine.
Great days, good times, and
Those
do
were
remember
good old days. You find a dime here, yeah, and
and that was the 60s and 70s, and then came dime bags.
And they didn't cost a dime, people. They didn't cost a dime. That was just a name they gave. I don't know why they called it dime bags.
I don't know why they call it dime bags. I don't know either. I don't take any drug. My only drug is simple things: fried chicken, French fries. I have simple drugs.
I'm not into you, man. I'm a Popeye's fried chicken guy. Anyway, so we were talking about. We came up with a bunch of different toys and magazine articles and everything that we used to. We laughed about this. Me and Johnny, when we put this together, we were laughing about it.
I know. We didn't want to even talk about it until we got here because it was just hilarious thinking about it.
It was just So I guess why wait? I mean, we're 12 minutes in. Let's pull up the first one we had.
Pull it in. Pull it out.
Yeah, pull it in. Creepy crawlers, right?
I'll be more than happy to. Yes, tell us what you know. Tell us what you know about creepy crawlers. That's tell me what you remember about creepy crawlers.
I remember about creepy crawlers. was it was like you made this little thing made out of rubber, like a little creepy crawler, and you put them all over people. You put them on the table, and to scare people. But they were made out of probably the most toxic substance there was back in the 70s. And the kids were eating these things, and then you chew it on them like they were gum. So what do we have? We have a video of what the creepy crawlers were, right?
Of course, of course we have
let's play the video so
creepy
people know what
crawlers
we're
were.
talking about.
I'm going to make it nice and large so you guys can see this. This is the actual commercial that took place probably sometime in the 1970s. Here it is, the creepy crawler commercial.
Yeah, some toxic liquid. And you could never do that. You were never able to do what the commercial said you should be able to do with it.
It looks like back in the day. It looks like everything was neon and cool, and it was in a black little setting. And you open up the box, and it's this cheap crap from China that's like,
right?
Not bad.
China is still sending that crap to us.
You're right. You're absolutely right about that.
But that thing, how many kids probably took those little creepy crawlers and swallowed them?
Yeah,
it's like swallowing gum, right? They had to stay in your system for 7 years, just like gum.
But later on, they did come out with something different. If you remember, they came out with the creepy crawlers that made bugs and things that you could eat. They were made out like sour candy. It was like sour candy creepy crawlers or something.
Yeah,
remember that?
Where do you think they got that idea from? They got that idea because everybody was eating a regular creepy crawler stuff. Right?
I wonder.
Just like, stop.
Looking at the chat here, I just wonder how many people had. You can ask how many people here had creepy crawl. Of course, they cost $10. Oh, Daniel Miller's in there. Mr. Slinky.
Of course, Super Bowl.
Bob Rummer said plastic goop.
That's what it was. You could really put that into anything. You could have put that into a thimble and made little dots and ate those.
Right. That's right. Yeah. It's basically colored Elmer's glue, is what it is. It's Elmer's glue.
What was that little oven you put it in?
It was a light bulb, wasn't it?
I would think so.
Do you remember when we were kids? We used to take Elmer's glue and put it all over your hands, and then peel off a copy of your hand. And you have all your little, And I also remember hearing that if you took your fingers and you burnt off the tips, you wouldn't be able to they couldn't take your fingerprints and know who you were. You could commit crimes. Yeah,
but now what you do with that is nowadays you could put your finger in like a candle wax. You put it in candle wax, not glue, and then you let it harden. It burns when you first put it in. Not that I know about this. Not that I haven't done this 1,000 times.
Talking about candle wax?
Candle wax. You put your finger in the candle wax, and then you peel it off after it becomes hard.
Okay, that sounds. It's an Orthodox thing. So what do we got coming up next? This next one. Isn't that a segue?
That's right. It's always going to be a segue.
All right, here's one that people are going to remember, and you have to give me a second. I'll set this right up. But everyone will know what it is in a quick sec, I think. Now, remember, I'm producing this, so I'm not really clear how I'm doing this. I'm not the producer, but I'm being the best I can at it. Here it is.
We rock and roll with it.
There you go. Now it's too late. I think I've given it away, right? You've given it away.
No. Oh, yeah. But this is what started John and I the other day talking about this.
What is it?
Squirrels. Turn it up.
Can I make squirrels do all that?
Sure. Just hook on its string and look at it go. You can make squirrels do all kinds of tricks.
What's that? It's squirrel. I don't believe it.
Squirrel.
I never was able to do that with that pencil.
I love the way the kid goes, I can't believe. It's like, oh my goodness.
How's that happen?
It's the most amazing thing I've seen with a piece of cat gut and a little fuzzy piece of orange, whatever it was. That's when we were kids. That was called squirrels, but in my opinion, that was called what was that? What was that?
Caterpillar. It was like an evil caterpillar or something.
Yeah, it was cool though. It was really cool, and there were people that were able to do it well.
Yeah, but yeah, because before I saw the commercial, I had seen somebody doing it, and I was like, "What? How is he doing that? I have no idea how he's doing that." But whatever it is, I want to be able to do that. Right? So I was like, when then I bought it and it was like, you got a string. I'm like, wait a minute, there's a trick to this. I
It's a
thought that
trick.
thing just squirmeled all over you.
There's another video which I'm not going to pull up. It even shows a guy that's a pro and he's jumping from glass to glass to glass and going in and out, and then he wraps it around his fingers. It goes spinning around his finger and comes into the other hand. It's like amazing. Like the guy, he could tell like he had no life, and this is all he did was the Skirmal commercial.
How did you get it in from glass to glass? I don't even know how you got it in the first glass. All you would have to just drop the squirmel in there and then
I
pull
wish
them
I
out.
could show it to you now. I wish I could show you because I didn't. I had that commercial. I didn't want to play a long one. But we're buzzing along here. We're only 18 minutes in here, and we only gone through 2 items. We have hundreds of items that we wanted to show people.
We have
I don't know.
items. What do we have? 27 people watching too.
Everyone's bored right now. Greetings from Roslyn, David Levine.
Yeah, the only sadder thing than us doing this show is that there's 27 people watching us do this show.
Next up, let's go into another one. This is another interesting, silly thing from the past. These are all things that we all had when we were kids, right? I guess. One of my favorites. You wonder what it is?
Go ahead, pop it up. Surprise me.
I'm surprised at myself. I'm trying to look for it right now. I thought I had it in order, but apparently not. I thought I had it.
So much for show prep.
Yeah, show my. I'm looking here. And it's okay. It's the original. This is one. It's called the original because apparently people were ripping this off. Apparently. Yeah, and this. It's interesting too. As I'm looking here. Oh, here it is. I couldn't find it for a second because it's not named by what the name of it is, and the name of it is
Don't Break the Ice. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's right. Don't Break the Ice. And I had this when I was a kid more than once, by the way. And it was actually a lot of fun. Don't break the ice.
Look at it. It's from Cootie Games.
Cootie.
Don't break that ice. My kids love this game. It's part of the Cootie Games. Okay. It's funny because it's got this purple guy on the box. Yeah, it's supposed to be a polar bear. I guess. Oh yeah, right here. So it's weird because in the game he's red. I don't know. I never really understood that. Yeah, polar bears are white. Yeah, but they're white anyway. Well, maybe he's blended with the ice. Maybe. I don't know. It's a fun game though, so let's get out of the box. Actually, we can do it now.
Yeah, a bunch of plastic crap.
Bunch of plastic.
But look how nice that was put together.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was thought put into that.
So the premise of the game was to put all the ice blocks in that blue triangle, blue square.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot you had to put them in upside down. So then what happens is you put the polar bear on top, and then each person has to knock a block out until the whole thing falls. So they're in there pretty tight. So you get to knock out a couple blocks.
You're having too much fun. I'm going to zip through this. This is it.
Some mallet right there, huh?
Yeah, some mallet.
So you don't want to start where the people.
Yeah, you don't want to start on the ends, not where the guy is.
You don't want to start with doing something for real in your life.
Oh, that guy took a chance there. Look at that. Ooh. Now this one here, he's going no matter where it is.
I want to see who lost. Ah! All
There
right,
you go. No, the beauty of that is you get to do it all over again.
And then they get married and it's Don't Break My Chops.
Yeah, that was a game. That's the modern or the modern day now is Jenga. The same thing. You pull the blocks out without the thing falling.
And now they make 3-foot Jengas. Have you seen the 3-foot Jengas that they have out there?
Those are the big ones. You go into a bar and they got those in there, and then it crashes down. It sounds like Iraq. The Iranians bombed us.
Yeah. Hey, another one up here is a classic that this is, by the way, I was a kid, I really wanted this. This next one coming up, I really, really wanted it. And I remember your parents like, you don't want that. It's not good. Don't do it, whatever. And I remember it took me a while to get it. And then
I love these things, man.
after I got it, we kind of like disappointed. It was never really as good as you thought it was supposed to be.
No.
You know? You always think it's going to be great, but it's not. But it was fun for a moment.
You know,
Yeah.
I remember those kids with the freckles on their nose.
But you can press it right back on. It's Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
The announcer had to tell you to do that.
The other left. Knock his block off. You're the winner.
Well, next time.
You can Rock'em Sock'em with the Rock'em Sock'em Robots by Marks.
So the kid who had the blue robot beat the kid with the red robot twice, and then all his friends went with the kid with the blue robot, and that's how this. And then the red robot kid went out and killed himself.
Yeah, probably they haven't learned how to hang themselves.
Yeah, because back then, that wasn't a problem. Everybody ganged up on somebody, but that one here, that game right there was good right up into the point where one of the robots' heads always came up easier than the other ones.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that. I remember that too. One was like loose and one was harder, and he's like, you always wanted to get the one with the loose head that didn't have the loose head, so you could knock the guy's block off. That's so funny. Remember that idiosyncrasy of stupidity. But this is what the show's about. The idiosyncrasy. This should be the name of the show, the idiosyncrasies of stupidity.
So that one here. So when you play it and you know that the red head comes off a lot easier than the blue head, you're like, hey, John, you want to play? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm blue. I'm blue.
Yeah. And I'm going to bet you.
Like, all right, I'll be red.
I'm going to bet you 10 marbles and my bazooka gum if who wins. That's 2 out of 3.
That's 2 out of 3 for the.
Hey, there's another one coming up here. This is another great one. Am I going too fast? Because we're halfway through. Okay, good.
I think we're having fun. We had the picture of us with the Rock'em Sock'em robot heads.
That's right. I could show you that if you want to see it. I got it.
You got it.
I don't know if it really makes a difference though. This is actually this is called Clackers. But back in our day, what was it called?
It was called Click Clacks.
That's right. What happened that it became from Clackers to Click Claps? How the heck did this happen?
Well, I'll tell you. Before you play the commercial,
right?
This is what I remember. That the name of it was Clackers. So when you went to Two Guys or Great Eastern and bought these,
Great Eastern.
Yeah, Great Eastern was a store by me in Jersey City.
Great East. I've never heard that store.
Great Eastern.
I was in Brooklyn, New York, and there was a place called Wonderland Toys at 65th Street in Brooklyn, and it was like a big toy store. I mean, it was Toys R Us came in later in the 70s.
No, these were like Two Guys and Great Eastern were 2 department stores. I think Two Guys was actually like ShopRite.
Two Guys I faintly remember, but the other one I don't. But all right, go ahead. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So now when you went down there to buy these things, you would buy Clackers. The name on it was Clackers, but it got the name of Click Clacks because when you remember how you started, it was like click, 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 clack, 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 clack. That's how it got the name Click Clacks. You started off with click, and then you wound up with clack.
This is hilarious because I see you doing that. I'm going to make a GIF of you going click, 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 click. I'm going to get that GIF running and make it viral. I'm going to say this is Walt at work. Click, 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 click.
Now, if anybody doesn't know what Click Clacks are or Clackers, I see me over here on my computer watching over here, and I'm just at that point. But anybody doesn't know what a Click Clacks is? It was solid, like polyurethane balls that nothing could happen to them on the end of 2 strings, and you would bang them together where they would go like this. You have the commercial.
Yeah, commercial. I'm just looking at the chat too. There's one. David Levine goes Corvettes. When I was a kid, there was a Corvette at Staten Island, right? And there was Corvettes was huge. Corvettes. And I used to also go to eat lunch. Your parents would bring you to Corvettes, and then I used to go to eat lunch at a place called Big W's. It was like the alternative to McDonald's before all of this stuff really started kicking in. But here it is.
Yeah, that's a W. The Big W.
The Big
was
W.
McDonald's. It was McDonald's. It was just upside down.
For real, or are you just saying that as an observation?
Observation, but it's probably had a lot to do with it. The
It's
big
nonsense.
golden arches. It was the upside down golden arches.
Okay, the W and the M. I'm starting to see the conspiracy here. Now tell me about COVID-19.
Right? George
All right, here we
Soros
go.
probably had something to do with it.
There you go. Here it is. This is the wonderful. Oh, sorry, I got the wrong one there. I gave you the wrong one. Where am I?
Plackers. It says Plackers commercial on it.
Oh, because it's made by. This is Easy Bake Oven.
Oh, you got it wrong.
I got it wrong. Wait a
All
second.
right.
This says Clackers. Oh, that's the one I want.
Yeah. Hit it.
Hang on. Who makes Clackers? Kenner? No. No. Light Bright? No. Kenner Stretch? No.
St.
Oh, here it
Anthony's
is.
Hospital.
I was
How about
in
that?
the wrong place.
How about every medical center? Look at these kids.
Come on, guys. Do it with both hands for cereal clackers.
That
It's
was
a miracle.
The new original
That's crazy.
cheddar, even if you use both
It's a
hands.
miracle clacker. It's a miracle nobody broke their eyes out. It's
Can
for
you
everybody.
believe? Can you believe that? I remember
little kid.
cracking into my head and my neck and my back, and it was. I also remember them saying in the 70s, like, that there was a rash of accidents and people hurting themselves and getting concussions with these things, and they were pulling them all from the market. But they weren't. They were called click clacks. They weren't called clackers. And when I was a kid, I remember
Clackers were probably the first ones. Then they probably had some smart guy come out with click clacks because of the name. But that's what I always thought it was, click clacks. But you know what we used to make, and I was going to tell you this before, but I wanted to save this for you. We used to get a chain, and we used to put it into a dowel on this end, and probably about this long, and this dowel. And we would make nunchucks because.
Chains and dowels. Okay.
Chains and dowel. I mean, what is a nunchuck? It's just
Yeah.
it's a rope and two nice billy clubs on them.
I'm
But we
sorry.
should-
Where I grew up, me and Buffy would never do such a thing.
Yeah. Where did you grow up?
We had crazy things. We would make our own wine and enjoy being outdoors.
Not us, man. Well,
I was born
telling
in
you this.
Brooklyn, man. Brooklyn, New York. It was like Bay Ridge, Bensonhurst, Borough Park area. It was and actually, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Honestly,
I
It was
grew up.
great.
You traded for Jersey City, man. We used to, and I was telling you this the other day, and you never did this. We used to get a piece of wood as long as like a rifle, and then you would get a big rubber band. You get the best ones were the ones that wrapped the mail. So the mailman would come around, and he'd have those big rubber bands that were wrapping the mail in his mail bag.
I remember those.
push card,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You grab a handful of them, whether he was looking or he gave them to you, and then you put nail it on one end, and then you pull it back, and you'd shoot those little, like these, before these tops came out. There used to be a round top that used to pull off. They were like circle. Yeah, it was a lip.
Yeah, it was like a teardrop kind of piece of metal, right?
Correct, like a teardrop, like in prison. The thing that like they have on their own prison. That'll make more sense to you, John.
Yes, I get it.
Right? And we used to pull them back and have a clothespin over here that would hold the rubber band and the the bottle top, and then you'd shoot it, and it would gone. That's weapons in Jersey City. That's how we used to steal the wine from everybody in Brooklyn. We used to pull back and have a clothespin over here. What are you doing? Listening to me?
No, by accident I clicked that. I'm producing the show. I'm trying to be the producer.
You're doing a great job.
I'm doing the best I can. Actually, this is not my venue, but I'm learning as we go along here. But
You're
so
doing
far,
a great
so good.
job. Hey, listen.
Hey.
By the way, we're also, just so we know this, we're stopping at 9:00.
Yes, and we're halfway through already. We didn't even get to the
stopping at 9:00, which is cool.
Let's go right to the fun stuff.
Yes, go right to the fun stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna show you how I make my click clacks. This is this is okay. This is another Kenner toy, and I'm gonna make sure it's up here on the screen so you guys can see. And there you go. Everyone should remember. Everyone, I'm sure, remembers this one. I keep going to the wrong one every time. This is a Kenner.
Hit play.
Yeah, but you have to hit play in different places when you do this.
Oh.
For some reason, he's became out of order. Who's out of order? You're out of order. Here it is. I'm
We're
going
all
to
out of order. There you go.
There it
All right, this is Stretch Monster. Oh, I
That's
remember this
great.
green guy.
Great.
Yeah. Well, I remember Stretch Armstrong too.
Yeah.
And he stretches. Look at that. He freed himself. So Stretch Armstrong folded him into a ball, and then he freed himself.
Now, that Stretch Armstrong and all of that came out much later on. First it was Stretch Armstrong, and then it came out with Stretch Everything's, right?
Yeah, Stretch Monster. But I tell you, one time we cut the arm off of Stretch Armstrong just to see what was in there stretching.
Right.
And it's like all this white gooey stuff.
But I remember you couldn't do it. As friends, we used to sit there and pull these things like across a stoop. And it's you'd hurt yourself before you could actually break it.
You can't break it that way. What you do is you cut it with a box cutter.
Where'd you learn that in Jersey City?
We learned that down on Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right.
No, but
so I'm sure everyone's had those things before too. They had to have them.
The Stretch Armstrong. I'm sure there were guys who were big, rough dudes that pulled them apart. I'm sure.
Yeah. This
I've
one.
heard of it. Which one is this? The Stretch Armstrong?
No.
Oh, this is the Easy Bake Oven.
That's correct. And this it's so funny when I watch these commercials back in the day here.
I love my Easy Bake Oven.
You know how to work it and all?
Of course, you just
Can't
put
see
the
it.
Easy Bake in here, and when it's done,
You can't see it?
comes out
No.
here like it's easy as
Oh, sorry.
pie.
And when the pie was open, the bird began to sing.
Hey, why can't you see it?
My Easy Bake Oven
You can
comes
hear
out
it. I can't see it.
and then
Hang on here. We have that's a technical difficulty on my part. I'll restart that little stream. Oh, I see why. I'm giving you the wrong one. Oh, I get it. Hang on. Look at that. While I go fix this, I'm going to make your head really large. Oh, wrong head.
That's your head.
I'm going to
So
make
what
your
I'm
head
going to
really.
do? So he's going to bring up this Easy Bake Oven. Now, every little girl probably had an Easy Bake Oven.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. Even boys had Easy Bake Ovens because what you used to do is it was an oven and it probably had like a 25 or a 40 watt bulb in it. That was the thing that generated the heat. And you baked one cookie. That was it.
That was it.
You baked one cookie at a time. And then your electric bill was like $1,200.
oven.
You know how to work it and all?
Of course, you just put the Easy Bake Mix in here, and when it's done, it comes out here like this, easy as pie.
And when the pie was open, the bird began to sing.
My Easy Bake Oven comes with enough mixes to make all these things. And now I can get
4 days.
It's Kenner. It's fun.
It's fun. It's Easy Bake Oven. Of course it's fun.
Dude,
I remember this Easy Bake Oven thing as a kid. I tell you, I remember, I don't know, we had one of these from one of my friend's sisters or something, and we decided, like, we're going to have a party, and we have to cater the party, and we got the Easy Bake Oven. We have to buy a bunch of those and make, like, a bunch of, like, cakes and cookies, and we just tried to spend all day trying to prepare, like, to make 10
marijuana
cookies,
brownies.
like 8 hours.
Yeah. With a light bulb on it, when your mother could have just thrown it right in the regular oven,
Right.
but
These-
it's been
these
done
are-
in like 20 minutes.
These are all things just to keep little kids that are like have a half a brain busy all afternoon. That's all it really is. I think some.
Yeah,
of
but that Easy Bake Oven, and the one thing that I thought you would be going bananas over was that puppet. That puppet was horrible.
What puppet? Oh, the
little duck puppet.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of that. Speaking of puppets, Walt, I was looking at this today. Do you remember in the back of the magazines, they used to have all those things that you could sell? There was one that was like, learn to be a ventriloquist.
I know it, man. I got the Charlie McCarthy doll when I was young.
This is what it was. Do you remember this ad?
Yeah, I do, but I never knew what it was. So explain this to me. You were going to explain this to me before.
Yeah, it's 25 cents for this ad. And what this ad was, is, you see the guy walking with a trunk and the kids looking like, where's that noise coming from? The little kids going, you hear the guys walking around the truck and you hear, hey, let me out here. Hey, come on, let me out.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, whoa, what's that? And he's like, throw your voice for 25 cents. You tape a quarter to a white card and send it in. And what you get, I don't have a picture of it here, but basically it was a bird wobbler. So it's a little piece of leather that's cut, has a piece of metal and a little thin piece of like cellophane. And it's in a U shape and it's the size of a quarter. And you lay it on your tongue and your mouth. And it doesn't make you a ventriloquist. It makes you make a sound that you produced with this. Yeah, I should have brought up the pictures of it. But I looked at that ad so many times when I was a kid and wanted to be a ventriloquist and just didn't happen.
That's hilarious. And you know what? The cool part of if you remember it, when you sent your quarter in, on the little slip that you had to cut out and send in the envelope, they put that little circle where you would tape the quarter. You remember that?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you had to tape it there. Like if it went anywhere else, they weren't going to send it to you.
And Walt, there was something else that was strange too. They used to say when you get the thing in the mail, my name was John Peasy, would say Master John Peasy, and I was like, whoa, Master.
Because that was like a big ventriloquist, and you were.
No, I wasn't. I'm here talking about cartoons with you right now in 2020 during a pandemic.
That's because you can't go out. We should have masks on. There's the Rock'em Sock'em robots with us. See how nice they were there? They were nice colors and.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. There's something else in the back of the magazine that I purchased when I was a kid that really was, again, another disappointment, a huge disappointment. And there was one for Frankenstein, and I hope you can see this. There was another one of these. Do you know what that was?
Okay. Yes, it was only $1.
It was a monster ghost, and they also made another one that was a like a ghost, I guess, or something. I'm not sure.
Oh, this is the ghost, isn't it?
That one's the monster, but there was also one that was like a ghost, and there was a Frankenstein as well. And in each of these was $1, and it says rises, jumps, darts, floats in the air, is controlled, and you can control it with your own, you're remotely controlling it, and it does whatever you want it to do. And I remember thinking, this has got to be the greatest thing. And it was $1 then, but when I was a kid, it may have been 50 cents or whatever. I forgot. So I got it in the mail. And when I opened up, I could not wait. Like, it took 6 weeks later, and then I open up the mail. And what do you think I get?
I'm going to crap.
This.
It's a balloon. What's the white circle thing?
There's a piece of clear catgut, like catgut is like a fishing line, right?
Yeah.
And the fishing line is wrapped around it. So you blow up the balloon and you put that clear plastic that it came with. That's like it's sheet, I guess, if you will. And you attach the nipple of the balloon to that plastic clear BS, whatever it is. Yeah. And then you attach to that around the neck. You attach the catgut, and then you run, throw it over a tree, and you throw it over the tree, and as people walk by, you're like, ooh.
Right. Look at you do, give one person a heart attack.
Yeah, and there's a Frankenstein one, and there's the ghoul, but they're all the same thing. They're a balloon with a piece of catgut and plastic. It's hilarious. Again, there's a disappointment.
Now that balloon, when you blew it up, right? How big did it get? 7 feet?
No. The balloon.
Oh, all right. I thought it was 7 foot on that thing for the monster.
The balloon is like a number 11 or a 12. It's the size of like a little larger than your head.
And did you see the balloon, or the white went over it, like a sheet went over it? Because I saw the face of the ghost on the balloon.
If you look at the balloon, you'll see underneath its face, which looks like Casper, is a neck, and there was a hole in that little sheet, which wasn't a sheet; it's plastic. There was a hole in it that you pop the neck through. You pop the neck through. And there's a balloon under it, and there's a balloon above the cloth.
You know what that looks like, though? That looks like a condom with a really big reservoir.
I was trying to keep it clean, but you're absolutely right.
It does. I mean, that's clean. They give out condoms in school these days. But
you're
yes,
right.
that's what it looks like. So that's what you got for $1, a balloon.
That was Ron Jeremy's condom in 1970. Very beautiful man.
That's awesome.
Another disappointment, which was just like that, was this ad as well. Which, do you remember the pullover? All right, Polaris nuclear sub, but there was a couple other ones too as well. There was an army tank. It was 3 or 4 of the same things. Now this is expensive. Look at this, $7.
$7.
This must have been 1980 by the time it was $7.
See,
But
this
if you look
this is when you were able to send checks.
Say again?
You were able to. This is when you had to send checks because you couldn't send $6.98 in an envelope.
That's correct. So this must have been more like 1978 or something.
Yeah, so
But
mom had to write you a check for this.
look at the place there. It says Honor House Product Company, Lynbrook, New York, Department 205. It looked like a P.O. box. Who is that person? Where were they? What did they do for a living? Was this on the side? They made $1 million with it. It'd be interesting to look this up and find out who they were.
Find out who they were, right?
Read
Now
the ad.
What was it? Let's see. It's Polaris, which I was telling you before. Polaris just happens to be the name of the rocket in the Batman movie that the Riddler named the rocket that was shot up in the air. Was Polaris. That's what I was going to tell you before. But so you get a free trial on this too.
Free trial. Oh,
10-day free trial.
Free trial. Right.
Imagine that. 10 days. Who wouldn't want to send that back?
But look at this. It says 7 feet long, seats 2 kids, controls that work, rockets that fire, real periscope, firing torpedoes, electrically lit instrument panel. And you're thinking, wow, this is great. Me and my friend, we could get in there and have hours of fun and adventure. And it's a money back guarantee. Okay. So then when you get this little flat package in the mail and you lay it all out on the living room floor, okay,
what does it look like?
Here's the disappointment. As usual, here comes the disappointment. This is what it looks like when it's laying on the floor.
And you got to now put that together.
See the Polaris box behind it there, the cardboard box?
Yeah, but now let's try to figure out, how did they get an instrument working panel?
That I don't see any electronics there. I don't even see the periscope.
I don't see that. I could see like the little red and blue thing there. Maybe those shoot little rockets out of the torpedo chute.
Yeah, cardboard paper rockets, and the periscope is a plastic tube that you make believe you see. The whole thing is hilarious. Look, and there's an instruction sheet to the right.
Yeah. What do you think that little kaleidoscope wheel thing is there?
I don't know. Maybe that's what you look through. I don't know. It's hilarious. And then after you have this, all gets put together with tape.
Clear tape. It doesn't come with it.
I don't know if it does or it does. I don't remember this. And then remember, this is what you're buying. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like when you go to.
That's what you get.
And then when it's done, it looks like this.
2 kids spitting in that. You know what that is? That's a box.
It's a box. It's a car. And look at all the tape. You see this is a guy that actually spent the time to really put it together. And there's nothing on the floor. It's just a box upside. Look, we could have more fun with a refrigerator box than this. I mean, if you think about it.
I did.
Right? We used to get in a refrigerator box and roll down the hill.
Yeah.
Right? Look at this. This is a refrigerator box with the top upside down with tape. And it's light. Yeah. And I understood that once a kid got in this, and you tried to get in there, the whole thing would just like crumble apart.
What do you think like about that person who put it together right near the pond?
This is Billy Jack, 1971. That guy right there is Billy Jack.
That was it. So yeah, so 71. You had to come up with $6.98. Oh, I was gonna say
that was big bucks. That was like $19.99 now, right? Like buy anything for $19.99. I find that fascinating though. That's what existed back then. That's just hilarious to me.
You couldn't do that now. You couldn't do that now.
Oh, now we rip people off on the internet in better ways than that. We do it through TikTok videos and getting you into our products.
Yeah, but even kids. Remember, I got a 7-year-old niece who knows how to use an iPad better than I do.
I believe you.
So they have no reason to be looking for a Polaris, paper submarine.
Yeah, but when we were kids, we grew up out of a different time. We grew up a time when there was cops and robbers and Indians and John Wayne, and there was in the 60s was the whole love thing coming in, and hippies, and it was a different time. And now kids grow up today with you go to the mall, which we can't go to right now, but if you go to the mall, every mom that's driving in and out of there with a car hands a kid an iPad, and the whole time they're like, "Yeah, eat your lunch. Here, look at this, look at that," so you could chat. everyone gets pushed off to the technology. Another one that was ridiculous was this the ant farm.
Now, I always wanted that, but I never got one. And again, that was, what is it? It's only $2.98. But what is that extra special $6.95?
Oh, you get more ants. You get a larger one with more ants.
So they actually put the ants in it for you.
Yeah, you had these ants. I don't know if they put the ants in there for you. I think they just give you the farm. What is an ant farm? Fascinating educational world's thinnest. See your tiny pets. I don't think they give you the ants, but we used to go outside and play with the ants anyway. It didn't make a difference. But this was like a really thin piece of plastic that you could see on both sides.
Right.
It was almost like a game we used to play with. We would put the checkers and the red little in there. So it's just thin.
Oh, that was Connect 4.
It's like Connect 4, but it's see-through, and you put the dirt near anywhere you want. And when you throw the ants in, you see them. They build their own little places to go through, and it's like very exciting if you don't have an iPad.
I got to tell you a story. We were in when I was in Cub Scouts. Cub Scouts.
Listen, by the way, right now,
what?
there's a huge lawsuit if you were molested by that and mesothelioma.
Mesothelioma. Jesus, I almost want to get that just so I could be part of that lawsuit. Because it sounds like it's going to be a big one.
I know.
While we're at it, can somebody?
I want COVID to cover my double chin.
Right? Can somebody please buy gold from William Devane? Please. But so we were at the Cub Scouts. We are at this place called the Polish Falcon Club. I think it's still there in Somerville, New Jersey. And we had our picnic there, and we were catching these frogs that were all over the place. Little frogs, not big frogs, but little baby frogs, toads. And we had nothing to put them in. Then we saw in the 3-legged race they were giving away these little farm things that like a bug zoo. That's what it was called, a bug zoo. So I got the biggest guy in the place who was in my grade. Paul, his name was Paul Lee. And I said, Paul, I'm tying my leg to your leg and you just run with me because we got to get these bug zoos for our frogs. And we won. We actually had them. And the frogs died 2 days later, but it was a same premise. You put the frogs in there or put the ants in this one and you had an ant farm.
I just think it's hilarious that you are either weak or not strong enough that you have to attach your leg to the strongest guy and drag me along, take me out for a drag.
I'm not the biggest guy in the world now. Can you imagine me back when I was like 7?
Yeah, I hear you.
I was
we only
big
got
as that balloon.
10 minutes left here. You got to bring up this one. This is classic.
Sea monkeys. Now, I never got it. Well, the X-ray. Let's go with the X-ray vision because that I did.
Oh, the X-ray vision, there's many different ads. And I was looking for the one particular ad. Walt, there's an ad of the X-ray vision where there's a girl walking with a dress and you can see her panties and legs through it. And the guy's got the glasses on and his tongue is coming out twirled like this. I don't see that. I can't find that ad, but I remember it because I remember thinking, I'm going to get those glasses. I was in Catholic school. I'm going to get these glasses. I'm going to go in and I'm going to see all the girls' underwears and I'm going to see their breath. I remember thinking, this is going to be the greatest thing. I'm going to be coming into school with a hat on and looking at all the girls. And when you put it on, you could see nothing but your bones in your hand.
Nothing. You could see. I did the same thing. But I went a step further. I spent $5 and got 5 pairs just in case I lost 4 of them. Because I did not want to be able to not see through girls' dresses.
Me too. And what a disappointment that was, right?
That was oh my God.
And they made many different versions of these. There was a whole bunch of different versions of how these look. So it's fascinating. And then the sea monkeys, right?
I never had those.
You didn't buy those.
Tell me what they were.
They're brine shrimp, and they don't see when you order the sea monkeys. You look at these lovely families of pink people with these little weird heads, and there's the mom and the dad, and they're swimming around. There's a castle there, and you're thinking,
I'm going to own these people. I'm going to be the king of the sea monkeys.
The king of it, right? And then they come, and there's a little packet, and you zip it open, you pour it in the water, and a couple of days later, you get brine shrimp, and they look like these you need a mic. It came with a little microscope thing, like a little eye thing to look in there, and like you could. Oh, there's one. It's moving.
That's
moving.
mine. That's Bobby. I named him Bobby.
And they named us Booby.
But get back to those X-ray. Oh, Silly Putty was awesome, by the way.
Oh, Silly Putty is another class. I actually, I brought up. I got a bunch of these here. This is another thing that really this is something that won't play today. Ovaltine.
This is Ovaltine.
How to wake up gay in the morning is Ovaltine. Ovaltine always makes you wake up gay.
Now, John, what was the definition of gay back when this commercial came out? This advertisement came out.
Walt Papaleo.
Papello.
How do you say your last name?
Popelo.
I'm sorry. We're doing the show together. I don't know how to pronounce your last name.
That's all right.
Popilo? Like Ron Popilo?
Yes.
No. So what's the definition of gay? Back then,
no, I'm asking you. What was put that picture back up?
It was supposed to be happy.
Okay. Right.
Happiness. You wake up happy. Gay.
Now, right now, that guy looks gay.
Yeah,
he doesn't look happy. He looks gay.
I agree. I'm with you.
So they knew back then.
Yeah.
And you know what? I had my share of Ovaltine, and I never woke up like that ever.
Man, I had Ovaltine too. Strawberry, chocolate, the whole thing. It's so funny to come and think of it. You go to night, you have a little Ovaltine before you go up, and then you wake up in the morning, you're like, "Hi, everyone."
Hi there, guys. They even mentioned Ovaltine in Young Frankenstein. You remember that? Would the doctor like a glass of warm milk?
Oh, that's Ovaltine. Right. How about these babies?
Those soccer boppers, yeah.
But this was second generation, because the first generation wasn't soccer boppers. It was called something else, and then they started theming these babies.
No, soccer boppers were the actual round things that went on your hand. So it was blow up. You put your fist in the hole. And yet, so the kids on the side there have the soccer boppers.
You put your fist in the hole?
Yes.
It's a family show, but this is not. No, that's not what I see. Oh, you're right. Use your
to the left.
Oh, you're right, Walt.
Those were the soccer boppers. This is the Bop Buddy.
You're absolutely right, because before that, there was a bunch of other ones that were stand up of like Casper and all the different ones, and you'd hit it, and it bounces back to you. And
that wasn't a soccer bopper. Like Bozo the Clown was one of those. Those things you were talking about. They had the sand on the bottom that made them all come back all the time, never going down.
I love that. I used to beat the crap out of that.
Yeah, it was just plastic. Again, that probably gave us all cancer back then. And they had Bozo the Clown likeness on it, and you would hit it. It was like a punching bag almost, like like Weebles. Weebles wobble; they don't fall down. These things would never fall down.
I had the Nancy Pelosi one when she was younger.
A wiener wrap. Now that has a totally different meaning today.
Well, if you have you don't want to have an Ovaltine and then a wiener wrap to the same meal. It's just too much.
You actually might need that now. A little Ovaltine and then put a wiener wrapper on.
It's hilarious. It should.
But
I don't. Stuff.
It's funny. We were looking at that before real quick, and it's the bread that goes around the little cocktail weenies to make, the hors d'oeuvres.
And here is a young Joe Biden.
I think that actually might be Joe Biden.
He's like, gee, that smells
terrific. Your hair smells terrific.
And she enjoys it. She's enjoying it.
I remember. Look at her. She's cute, though, man.
Yeah, she's cute.
Yeah, she's got that look, man. A little yellow. He's
all
smelling
good.
the hair.
Yeah, it's all good.
Joe Biden could get away with that all the time.
Oh, by the way, that was the ghost. Okay, that was the ghost.
That was the ghost for $1.
And there's another one here. Silly Putty.
Love Silly Putty, man. Silly Putty. You could pull that stuff out, and it would go probably as far as your arms would take you, stretching. Then you could, after you were done with that, you had to roll it back into a little ball again, and you could put it on a comic book, and the comic book would transfer onto or any kind of ink would transfer onto the putty. It looked like a big piece of bubble gum.
And you always wanted it on the color comics, not the black and white. I was like, oh, I wait till Sunday to get the color ones because there's only black and white papers most of the time.
That's right. So now, what was the one thing that Silly Putty used to do that wasn't that?
It bounced.
Yeah, if you
A
make it
ball.
into a nice ball,
What
you got to make
if
it.
you didn't make, I know where you're going.
I know where you're going. Go ahead.
It got to be a perfect ball because it won't bounce up and down. It goes in different directions.
Right? You get it a little oblong, and then you bounce it, bing, it would go right, take right
Yeah.
off to the right.
And by the way, Silly Putty came in that beautiful little egg thing. I remember, and this is the same time that came out TV Magic cards.
And they came in an egg?
No, they didn't come in an egg. I remember just seeing the same thing on a blister packet hanging on. It was. I didn't go to Walmart back then. What was the name? I used to go to 86th Street in Brooklyn. There was a store that's not around anymore. I forgot the name. And
But
anyway,
Silly Putty, you had to put it back in the egg.
yes, in order to save it. But then they came out with Silly Putty replacements that were like cheaper versions at dollar stores later on in the day. And here's another weird thing that I did have as a kid: the 100-piece toy soldiers.
Yeah.
Now,
That was
these were like little soldiers that came off an assembly line in China. There was a billion little plastic 1-inch pieces all attached to one another. You had to rip them apart. And you had to clean them because they weren't like really pulled apart or anything.
Yeah, you had to take a little knife and cut off part of, like on the arm. It would have a little piece of the plastic that it was connected to.
Yeah, that's the whole point. And they were hard. And it says this one says it comes in a Foot Locker. What's the Foot Locker? It's a little plastic box where you put all the little plastic crap in it. It was horrible. Hey, listen, we don't have much more time, so we have time for like one more. And
But I just want to put out here that John and I talked about this, and we're going to try for future weeks to get like somebody from the 70s or a celebrity to come on and talk about this with us. So I think next week I have in the tank the meteorologist Bill Evans from Channel 7 News. So we're going to try to work that out. And that'll be pretty cool to have their take on it as well, and some of the toys or records.
Bill Evans part of the 70s? Is he part of that whole thing?
He's got to be. Yeah, he's been around forever. This guy, Bill Evans.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I think I met him once. And this next one coming up, I think you may recognize as well. I'm sure.
Oh, this is great.
Here. Remember this?
Yeah,
of course you remember this. Let me make it nice and large here on the screen, and there you go. Hope you can see it big now too.
Crazy phone. I rub it, dub, so fine in the tub. You get so clean, it's really fun when you scrub. We love all the stuff and we love all the wow.
Pink shaving.
You get clean as no trouble. Crazy phone, crazy phone. Everybody loves crazy phone, crazy phone, crazy phone. Crazy phone, crazy phone, crazy phone. Everybody loves crazy phone.
Remember that, baby?
Yeah. That was great because you could put that all over your face. You could put that on your nipples. You could put it down below. You could do anything you want with that stuff and get up and stand naked in the tub with it on. And
it's interesting you say all that. I just washed my hands with it, but okay. I never thought about the nipples.
I took it a step further. I took it. I always took everything a step further with those toys.
I'm sure. Until they invented Vaseline, this was your go-to. So, just real quick before we get off of here, there's two more. I know I'm at. We want to close that.
No, go ahead. Do the two of them.
All right, we started real quick. This one, because I want to get it in because we had it here just for the heck of it. This one is everyone. Well, this is one of my favorites. Okay, check it out.
Oh yeah, Viewmaster.
It's really interesting. The three-dimensional color pictures are extraordinary. I find these how to play football videos very interesting.
You know who that is?
Peter Brady.
Consider the GAF Viewmaster an ingenious invention. A great educational value.
You know who that is? Deborah Lee Scott.
No.
That wasn't Deborah Lee Scott?
No, I think I'm looking at it now. I think that's the girl that was. Wait a minute.
Oh,
that's
Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Was that Jodie Foster?
Yeah.
That's not,
Watch as she turns and looks at the camera.
Viewmaster an ingenious invention.
Oh yeah. Henry Ford, right?
Yeah, you could see her face in there. Remember? And by the way, that was a great little toy too. I was hours of fun up until the light and all the different ones, and then they came out with more like an electronic one later on.
So what you would do is you would buy the Viewmaster, and you'd buy this the different little circles that went in there, and they had pictures all around the circles. And then when you clicked it, like a coming down on the side, it would turn to the next picture, so you'd see this color picture. I remember I had the Batman episode where he met Catwoman and she fell into the cave, and I would watch it in the ViewMaster.
While you were soaping yourself up.
Now you go on YouTube and you could see it.
With Crazy Foam, while you were soaping yourself up with Crazy Foam, you were watching the Batman meet.
I was watching it with Crazy Foam until it disintegrated. I ate so much Crazy Foam, it was crazy. Which one is this?
This one is another classic, Light Bright. This is
Light Bright.
And this is something, as a kid, I really liked this when I was little. I remember this, like, you could just sit there and play all day, hours with this thing. It was very simplistic.
Well, you know what the key with this was? All it was a big board. It was a big square black board, and behind it was a light, and
a light bulb.
And these little pegs would go in there, and they would, if you had the patterns that they sold with it, it would tell you an R, and that's where you put a red peg, and a Y was a yellow peg, and W was a white peg, and the picture would come out to what it was. But the problem is, when you ran out of pictures to do with Light Bright, that was one of the problems. You didn't have any more pictures, so you had to start making them yourself.
Well, you get a piece of black paper. You can do whatever you want. You can make your name or whatever you want. It was, but think about the simplicity when we grew up with stuff like this. If you think about this, what did you get? Everything had a light bulb in a box, and there was lots of ways to take the light bulb. First, you could cook a cake with it, then you could make art with it. Basically, you got a light bulb in a box, and you got these kids keeping busy for $8.99.
Yeah, but the suckiest part, and what was the suckiest part of owning a Light Bright, John?
You lose all the little pieces.
You didn't lose them. You never wanted to put them back in the same colors. So when you you put them all in one like little Tupperware cup that margarine came in, or butter used to come in. You put them all in there, and now they're all mixed together, and you don't want to play with it anymore because you had to look for the white.
I remember
the clear one.
Separating it. Yeah, you had to separate it before you actually did it too. And this is another one of these crazy. There's another one of these things that was popular.
Spirograph. Sure. Spirograph.
Yeah.
You would just sit there and spin a circle, and you'd have a different little. So it was almost like a what was it? Conveyor? Not a conveyor. What do they call that?
I have no idea.
Almost like a chain. How a chain works on a bike. You would just spin around in circle wherever your pen was, and it would just keep going around in that same circle, making a fun little design. But that was you got sick of doing that too.
Yeah, but it was fun for it was something to do. I mean, it's like as a kid I had a wood burning thing. I remember this is what parents gave to their kids. It was a real piece of metal and like a screwdriver that you plug in and it heats up, and you take the wood and you could draw your name in wood burning with smoke and starting a fire practically to write something in wood. And you think about it now, your parents like today, they're like, they're afraid to give you anything. They're afraid you're going to hurt yourself. You can't go out in the street, do it. Meanwhile, my parents were giving me something to start a fire with in the house. And in addition to chemistry sets, erector sets, click clacks, it was a different time.
Not to mention if that wood carving thing touched Silly Putty, it exploded. That was the detonator.
Not only that, if it touched your hand, you'd burn your hand. It was hot. I mean, and it was enough to start a fire. If anything else, if you put your your hair in there with the piece of wood you were burning, it would ignite. It would start a fire. I mean, it's the beginning of fire, which is hilarious.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
So listen, we gotta go. We're over.
Yeah, we gotta go. We went over 6 minutes.
Huh?
But was that?
I said we promised that we wouldn't, and it's 5 after.
I know. Well, listen, we did a 7-minute intro, so this is a full hour right now because the 7-minute intro started at exactly at 7:59. So we're good, man. We did an hour. Just like we said. Listen, we're going to be back here again next week, right? We'll be back here at 8:00 next week, Wednesday, and we'll talk about it. But we're either going to do maybe music, records, or other gadgets that we had. It's not going to be toys.
TV movies.
TV shows, TV that we watched. Tell your friends, share this to pages, and listen, have a great week, man. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
subscribe, click like,
Subscribe.
comment. And more importantly, you know, I was thinking, Walt, even more importantly than all of this is that we want to put in the comments.
Send $6.98 in an envelope.
I'll send you a submarine. No, I'm saying we want to let people comment and say to us, tell us what you like us to talk about.
Yeah.
And they remember, because this is our perspective, but there's so many people that say, do you remember this? Do you remember that? What else is there? I don't know everything, you know, let's see what they got.
No. Yeah, see what you got, because you might say we might be missing something, and you say, hey, you know, what about Bubblicious? And we're like, oh man, we forgot about Bubblicious, you know, or whatever it is. So
Right.
I think it'll be good. What are we going out? Oh, this is our
going out with something from the 70s. What else will we go out with?
All right, Johnny, I'll see you next week.
Hey, thank you, Walt. It's too much fun. I'll see you too.
All right.
Take care.
Hey, sit on it.
Around the town, show everybody what I found. Rock and roll with all my friends, making the music never ends. Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. Saturday, what a day. We will all work with you. These days are ours. Share them with me. These days are ours. Love me and free. Sunshine, lightning. She's wearing a school ring on her chain. Shows my city, I'm a man. I'm gonna live up all night.